Right then, let's talk about Hyundai. You might know them for their cars, but did you know they started with buildings, not engines? Back in 1947, a chap named Chung Ju-Yung, a real go-getter, founded Hyundai as a construction company. Post-war Korea was a bit of a mess and they needed rebuilding. Bridges, roads, the lot. Hyundai was right there, mucking in and getting things done. But Chung, he had bigger plans. He saw a nation yearning for wheels, for freedom on 4 tires. So in 1967, Hyundai Motor Company was born. A bold move, some might say. But Chung, he wasn't afraid of a challenge. He knew that to succeed, he needed help. So he partnered up with Ford, the American giants, learned the ropes, built some cars under license. But Hyundai, they weren't content just being someone else's factory. They had their own ideas, their own vision for the future of motoring. And that, my friends, is where things start to get interesting. Now picture this. 1975 Korea still finding its feet after the war. People wanted cars, but foreign ones were expensive, a luxury. Enter the Hyundai Pony, Korea's first mass-produced car. It wasn't flashy, no sir. It was a simple, practical runabout. A bit like a sturdy pair of work boots. Not much to look at, but they get the job done. And boy, did it get the job done. The Pony was affordable, reliable, and just what Korea needed. It put Hyundai on the map, not just at home, but internationally too. They shipped it overseas, a plucky little car from a country few associated with manufacturing, let alone something as complex as a car. It was a gamble, but it paid off. The Pony showed the world that Hyundai meant business. They weren't here to mess about, they were here to stay. The 1980s, big hair, shoulder pads, and the rise of the personal computer. It was a time of change, and Hyundai, they were changing with it. They set their sights on the global market, a bold move for a company still wet behind the ears. Their strategy? Undercut the competition. Offer cars that were good value for money. They knew they couldn't compete with the established giants on luxury or performance, not yet anyway. So they focused on what they did best, building solid, reliable cars that wouldn't break the bank. And it worked. The Hyundai Excel, launched in the US in 1986, became a surprise hit. It was cheap, cheerful, and it didn't fall apart at the first sign of a pothole. People took notice. Hyundai was no longer a joke. They were a serious contender in the global car market. Now let's talk about the 1990s. Britpop, the internet, and Hyundai upping their game. They knew that to play with the big boys, they needed to improve their quality. No more cheap and cheerful. They needed cars that were well-built, reliable, and could stand the test of time. So, they invested heavily in research and development. New factories, new technologies, the lot. And they weren't afraid to take risks. In 1998, they introduced the 10-year/100,000-mile warranty in the US. A bold move, some might say, especially for a brand still shaking off its image of being a bit, well, budget. But it showed that Hyundai had confidence in their product. They were putting their money where their mouth was, and it paid off. Customers loved the peace of mind that came with such a comprehensive warranty. It was a masterstroke, and it cemented Hyundai's reputation as a manufacturer that could be trusted. Section 5, Design Evolution from Bland to Grand. The 2000s rolled around, and with them a new millennium and a new Hyundai. They'd conquered the reliability hurdle. Now it was time to tackle style. Gone were the days of boxy, forgettable designs. Hyundai wanted cars that turned heads, that exuded sophistication and flair. They hired top designers, people who understood that a car is more than just a means of transportation. It's an extension of your personality, a statement to the world. And the world took notice. The Hyundai Genesis, launched in 2008, was a revelation. A luxurious sedan that could hold its own against the established German giants. It was a sign of things to come. Hyundai was no longer content with being a follower, they were setting the pace. Section 6, Tech Revolution, Embracing the Future of Mobility. Now let's talk tech, shall we? Hyundai, they're not ones to shy away from innovation. They know that the future of motoring is electric, connected, and autonomous. And they're investing heavily to be at the forefront of this revolution. From electric vehicles to hydrogen fuel cell technology, Hyundai is pushing the boundaries of what's possible. They're not just following trends, they're setting them. Their infotainment systems are some of the best in the business, intuitive and packed with features. Their driver assistance systems are second to none, making driving safer and less stressful. Hyundai understands that the car of the future is more than just a machine. It's a companion, a co-pilot, a seamless extension of our digital lives. Section 7. The Green Drive Pioneering Sustainable Solutions. Right then, let's talk about the environment. It's a big deal, isn't it? And Hyundai, they're taking it seriously. They're committed to reducing their environmental impact, and they're doing it through innovation. The Ioniq, for example. A car specifically designed to be eco-friendly. Available as a hybrid, a plug-in hybrid, or a fully electric car. Something for everyone. And then there's the Nexo, Hyundai's hydrogen fuel cell car. It runs on hydrogen, emits nothing but water vapor, and can be refueled in minutes. It might sound like something out of Star Trek, but it's real, and it's here now. Hyundai is proving that you don't have to sacrifice performance or style to be environmentally conscious. They're leading the charge towards a greener future, and that's something worth celebrating. Section 8, Global Domination, a legacy forged in steel and innovation. So there you have it, the story of Hyundai. From humble beginnings to a global automotive powerhouse. They've come a long way, haven't they? And they're not done yet. Hyundai is now one of the top automakers in the world, selling millions of cars each year. From the Americas to Europe, from Asia to Africa, Hyundai cars can be found on roads all over the globe. They've become a byword for quality, reliability, and value for money. They're not afraid to take risks, to innovate, to push the boundaries of what's possible. And that's what makes them so exciting. Section 9. The road ahead. What's next for the Korean Trailblazer? What does the future hold for Hyundai? Well, if their track record is anything to go by, it's going to be bright. They're investing heavily in new technologies, like autonomous driving and artificial intelligence. They're expanding their lineup of electric and fuel cell vehicles. They're even venturing into flying cars, for goodness sake. Hyundai is a company that's always looking ahead, always striving to be at the forefront of the automotive industry. So next time you see a Hyundai, don't just see another car. See a symbol of innovation, of ambition, of a company that dared to dream big and achieved its goals. They've earned their place at the top table of the automotive world, and I, for one, can't wait to see what they do next.